Good morning. These are your Tribune highlights for Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, brought to you by your Daily Bahamas headlines, especially for people on the go and those who are visually impaired. Leading the news today, the United States Embassy is calling for swift justice following the fatal shooting of an American worker by an off-duty police officer in Nassau. 31-year-old Cody Castillo, who worked with Pike Corporation, was shot Saturday near the Plantation Bar and Grill while reportedly picking up relatives and friends. Friends say Castillo had just left the establishment and had no involvement in any altercation. Castillo's family and friends describe him as a peaceful man who was excited about becoming a father for the first time. His wife, Makayla, is 4 months pregnant. The U.S. Embassy said it is closely monitoring the case and expressed deep concerns over reports that the unarmed victim was shot by an off-duty officer. Authorities say the officer claimed he feared for his life and fired his weapon, but investigators are examining dash camera footage that could prove critical to understanding what happened. The case has intensified scrutiny over police-involved shootings in the Bahamas. According to the Tribune, it was the third fatal police-involved shooting this year and the second involving an off-duty officer in just 2 days. Human Rights Bahamas has criticized the Royal Bahamas Police Force for statements that appear to defend officers before investigations are complete. The organization says investigators must remain neutral and allow evidence to determine what actually occurred. In other national news, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin says early childhood education significantly improves student outcomes. She says research shows that quality early learning strengthens cognitive development and prepares children for academic success. As part of broader education reforms, the government plans to lower the compulsory school age from 5 to 4 and strengthen oversight of early childhood education. The government is also preparing to demolish another 200 shanty homes as part of efforts to address unregulated communities. Officials say the move follows eviction notices issued across several areas and forms part of a broader strategy to improve living conditions and enforce building regulations. Opposition leader Michael Pentard is meanwhile proposing public-private partnerships to help solve the housing crisis. He says collaboration between government and private developers could lower construction costs and expand access to affordable homes for Bahamians. Another issue drawing public attention involves healthcare access. Advocacy groups have criticized Princess Margaret Hospital after a deaf patient reportedly received treatment without a qualified interpreter. Advocates say the incident highlights serious gaps in communication access for persons with disabilities and are calling for stronger enforcement of disability rights within the healthcare system. Turning now to the front page of the business section. One story is headlined, "Come into the 21st century for 40% out-island occupancy boost." Tourism officials say small hotels in the Family Islands could dramatically increase occupancy if they embrace digital booking platforms and modern marketing strategies. While tourism across the Caribbean is growing, the Bahamas has been described as flat to slightly down, suggesting the industry must adapt to changing travel patterns. Another business story highlights uncertainty surrounding the government's proposed acquisition of the Grand Bahama Power Company. The government is seeking parliamentary approval for $280 million in loan guarantees to help finance the purchase. But union leaders say many questions remain about how the deal will affect workers and electricity costs. Turning now to the editorial page. The editorial is titled "Undermining Public Trust." The Tribune argues that repeated police-involved shootings risk eroding public confidence in law enforcement and calls for transparent investigations and stronger accountability. Now to the letters to the editor. The first letter is titled "Our Women Deserve to Feel Safe." The writer says recent crimes involving female visitors highlight the need for stronger protections and vigilance. Another letter is titled "Response to Cuban Ambassador." The writer argues that Cuba's economic struggles are largely the result of internal policies rather than external pressure. A third letter titled "Shootings or Murders" questions whether police-involved killings are being investigated thoroughly enough. Those are your Tribune highlights for today. For the full stories and additional coverage, be sure to purchase a copy of the Tribune or visit tribune242.com. As the journalist Walter Cronkite once said, "In seeking truth, you have to get Both sides of a story. Enjoy your day. Be blessed and be a blessing.